Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Killer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with another prophetic message. For those of you new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, and for those of you returning back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that these energies could be happening right now for some of you guys, as well as it could have already happened. Or it's in the process of happening, okay? So with that being said, it just depends on your location on the planet. For those of you who do not know, I'm an intuitive, clairvoyant, Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic dream messages. I also receive intuitive messages as well as intuitive messages through music. I am here to help assist souls on their spiritual journey at this time to translate messages from the spiritual world over into this 3D world. So that way you have the spiritual 411 if that's how you want to look at it. So basically, when the energy presents itself to you, you know whether you're going to go left or you going to go right. It's up to you. I'm not here to do the work for you. I'm just here to present you with the energies that are to come. So that way you have a heads up. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, let's get straight into the message, right? So this message I received, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, okay, thank you, Spirit. I almost forgot that I did write it down. So I received 3 different messages. So bear with me because this first one is a little long and it had a lot of twists and turns in it. So it's going to be very important for you guys to understand what's taking place with some of you guys on your journey and why it had to happen the way that it did. Okay, so just know that every time Divine Spirit of Light has a situation or obstacle or it seems like a setback in your way, it's always for a purpose. Okay, so just bear with me, and then when I am done, I was being divinely guided to use this my shamanic healing deck as well as my crystals card. So if you stick around to the end, this will give you a confirmation of the information that I'm sharing with you, how it collaborates with the message that I'm giving you. So anyway, with that being said, let's get straight into the message. So the first dream that I dreamed, like, it was as if I was babysitting, right? Okay, I was babysitting for this Caucasian couple, right, in this dream. So it was as if I was taking the baby out for the day, right? And I had met up with in the dream, I had met up with 2 of my family members, and we met like in this parking lot, right? So when I had arrived there, I was taking the baby out the car, but then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, but it started off as if I had a baby in my hand, okay? So anyway, but with that being said, as we got into the parking lot and we got out of the car and we started walking to where it was that we was heading to, I realized, I was like, oh shoot, let me go back to the car and get the little slingshot. I don't know what it's called, y'all, but bear with me. That's what I used to call it when I was pregnant with my kids, but let me explain to you real quick. So it's the little harness that you put on and you put the baby in. I refer to it, again, as a slingshot. I know it may have a name, but that's just what I call it. Okay, so anyway, but I went back to my car to get that so I can put the baby in it, because I was thinking to myself, I don't want to carry this baby around all day in my arms because my arms would get tired. At least my hands would be free. So I went back to the car, got the little slingshot, and caught up with my family. Actually, no, as I was walking, I told them to go head on to keep walking. So at this point in time, I didn't even know where the baby was, but it started off, I had a baby in my hand that I was caring for, should I say. And then I told them to go head on, I'll catch up. So as I got the slingshot, I walked in the direction that they was going. They had already entered into the building that we were going into. And what happened was, once we got into the building, right? So need I remind you, it was 2 other people in the parking lot that was part of my family member, okay? Myself and the baby that I was caring for. So once I hit enter into the building, it's like I was there to meet up with other family members, okay? So when I got into the building, I was looking for the 2 family members that was out in the parking lot. I only saw one of them because the other one went with where her mother was at. And then it was as if my brother was kind of like, he was nearby, as if he was waiting for me to kind of show me which direction that they went in. So as I was walking into the building, I walked up to him, but then he said something smart and sarcastic to me. So bear with me, guys, because some of you guys can probably relate to some of this, some of these things that that you may have experienced on your spiritual journey. And if some of you guys haven't experienced, you may be finding yourself about to experience. Okay, so with that being said, basically, thank you, Spirit. So the way I'm hearing it is, you can see it 2 ways. This is a journey of why certain things had to happen on your journey, and then this message, the second message comes as if, because I'm seeing it 2 ways. The second message comes as if, you know, this is something that some of you guys are about to experience, should I say. So anyway, But as I was walking up towards my brother, again, he said something smart and sarcastic. And his basically words to me was like, you must not be making too much money by babysitting, is what he said, right? So then at that point, I felt like he was trying to embarrass me, right? Because I felt like there were other people, because it was as if we were like in this food court. Like we was in this food court area. If you guys, like, I'm gonna give you an example because this is what's coming to mind. Thank you, Spirit. Like, if you guys have ever, like, if you're in the Northern Virginia area, and if you have ever went to like a Pentagon City Mall and their food court, should I say, they have all of these, the food court is at the very bottom. I think if it's still that way, because I haven't been in there for so long. I hate being around crowds. But anyway, it's almost like this high building. It's the four walls, the food court is at the bottom, and then you have all these different escalators or escalators that go up to each and every different floor. So anyway, because when I walked in, it was as if it was kind of like that. But then it was like a second level as well, too. But that was an eating area also, extended eating area. But anyway, so he said what he said, and I didn't become embarrassed, but I felt like he was trying to embarrass me, should I say. So, sometimes when you feel embarrassed, you kind of looking around just to see who's noticing, maybe who may have heard, or, just to see who's looking, or who's, just kind of paying attention, or who may have heard him say anything. So it was kind of like that, but I didn't look around. I wasn't even, it's almost like I got the feeling like he was trying to embarrass me, but rather than looking around to see, who was looking or who was watching or who may have heard him, I basically just brushed it off, So it was like I didn't even care, okay? And then at that moment, he walked off, and he went with the other group of family members. But the funny thing about this is he went one way, right? And normally, in normal cases, most people would stick with their family and go the same route, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you here is, and I need you to bear with me because this is important, because some of you guys God was giving me this revelation to help me to understand why certain people had to take certain routes, okay? So he went one direction up the stairs, and I could have followed him, but instead it's like I was being guided to go up these particular stairs. So the stairs that I went up, it's like the stairs had no rail on it, right? So that's just letting me know, therefore, it's almost like some of you, as well as myself, excuse me, now I want to start hicking up. So some of you guys have taken a road less traveled, whereas most people have taken the road that everyone travels, okay? Meaning like they go straight to wherever it is that they need to go, where other ones have these obstacles, courses, all these different, course and obstacles that they have to go through, in a sense, okay? Which is not the traditional route that most people take. See, he took the traditional route. I was guided to go up these flight of stairs. And the funny thing about it was, when I was walking up the stairs, the more higher I started walking up the stairs, actually when I got on a set of stairs, I noticed that there was no railing there to hold on to. So that right there alone had made it scary. So I know this journey has definitely been scary for some of us, because we didn't know what to expect, whereas most people over going the traditional route, they conform to the and this is no judgment, but I'm just saying, because this is how God gave it to me. They conform to the traditional route of way of how to succeed and climb the corporate ladder, is what I'm hearing. Whereas over here, it's almost like I'm climbing the ladder for success, but I'm climbing it in a different way, in a sense, okay? So in other words, this route may have seemed easy that my brother have taken, but he was meant to take that route. Whereas I and other people were meant to take this route that had all these different obstacle course, challenges, and, hurdles in the way, should I say. So again, as I was walking up these steps, right? The steps had no railing, so I stayed really close to like the wall, so that way because I kind of got like the steps were there. They weren't really short in length. They weren't too long in length, but they were like middle size. But I know the higher I got, the more closer I stayed to the wall. So that way, I knew that I was securing myself, so, I wouldn't fall down. Because again, there was no handrail on the other side. There was the brick wall, and then there was the handrail. But anyway, as I kept walking up, then I got to the top of the stairs, like the last two stairs that I was trying to step up onto the area where I saw these people eating at the food court, right? So it was an area downstairs with food, and then up the next level up is where you get to sit at and eat your food. And so as I got to the last two steps before I stepped onto the platform, it's almost like it got a little complicated. Yet again, another obstacle in the way, right? So it seemed like a little bit of the piece of the stairs were kind of missing. So I was afraid that I was going to fall. So what I did was I noticed that there was a guy that was nearby. I didn't know this man, right? I didn't know him. So his chair was nearby, but I remember I took my hand and I reached up and I grabbed that. He was facing this way. And he was sitting at the table eating with his mom, as well as there were other people around as well too. But I remember I took my hand and kind of went like this and grabbed his shoulder, should I say, and grabbed his t-shirt. And the funny thing about it was he was wearing a red t-shirt. Red is symbolism. Red is a representation of being grounded. Okay, so with me grabbing onto his t-shirt, I knew I was grounded and I was able to hold on to him. I knew he was a safe space. So I grabbed him. And then as he realized what I was doing, he didn't turn around and say, "What you doing?" Or "Get off of me." It's almost like he was there to help assist me. So as I grabbed him and he realized what I was doing, I was trying to pull myself up. He basically took me. You know how somebody takes and lifts somebody up, like let's just say a child maybe, but you take and have your hand like near their lower back area and then your hand underneath their thigh area. So it's like him, and then there was another guy that was nearby that I didn't see, but when he was assisting me, like helping me to, because I got it, like he was catapulting me over, like bringing me up to the platform in a sense, like he was a safe space to help me to get over. So as the guy next to him, because I initially, when I grabbed the guy's shirt, I didn't see anybody else around, should I say, but then I did notice that there was another guy who was also had his hand like underneath my butt or whatever and was kind of helping to catapult me over as well too. So I say all that to say that, again, we have had people and things in our lives that kind of help pushed us in certain directions and kind of help, that we didn't even realize that was there for us on this journey, should I say. And some of you guys may find that you may have somebody, some people in your life that may help you to get to the next level to where it is that you need to get to. So anyway, so as they catapulted me over them and pulled me over, should I say, I basically told the guy, I said, "Thank you so much," and basically was telling him I greatly appreciate it. And and so I walked away, and then I went to where it was I was trying to get to. So at this point, it's like I saw like these stairs, right? So as I saw these stairs that was going down, and then I saw some stairs that was going up, but I knew the direction which I was supposed to be going because I was meant to be following, let's just say, my family, should I say. So with that being said, I basically, when I got to the next set of stairs, before actually walking up the stairs, I just kind of stood right there on the platform and stood at the stairs. But as I stood at the stairs before I was about to go up, where I noticed that my family was standing up there waiting for me, right? What happened was, it's like there was distractions coming yet again. Okay, so you have helpful people that will help you on your journey, and then you have these people. I'm not going to necessarily say that they were distractions, but thank you, Spirit. I'm not going to necessarily say that they were distractions because it kind of seems like they may be distractions in a sense, but some people, and I can, thank you, Spirit. And I say that to say because some people may actually deal with actual distractions in a sense, but some people are dealing with distractions because this is how it came through for me. As I was standing at the platform and waiting to go up the next set of stairs, it's almost like this guy showed up, and this was like one of the kids, let's just say like one of the kids that I knew who used to attend it, the daycare center that me and my mom had, should I say. And he stood at the stairs at the platform with me, and he showed up in a white t-shirt. This was the funny thing about it, was these people kept showing up in these white t-shirts, right? So as I was kind of looking at it as if maybe like certain things were like obstacle and hard and seemed like they were in my way, and me having a hard time getting where it was I needed to go, it's like God was revealing to me that in the process, even though things seemed like they were being delayed, that I was actually helping people in the process. Because when the gentleman showed up with the white t-shirt in mind, he showed up, he looked at me to the side, and he just kind of like smirked and smiled at me like like almost like he was admiring me, like thank you in some sort of way, right? And then after that, he kind of faded away. Somebody else walked up there, and I just kind of, in the dream, it just kept kind of like being people coming as if they was coming in these white t-shirts and was just letting me know that, you know, in some sort of way I was helping to assist them on their journey in some sort of way. So it was almost like I was helping them to evolve in a sense, to go higher. In other words, you know, like as I came up, as I was bringing myself up, I was also bringing up other people as well too. You know, whether we realize we're doing it or not, because sometimes things are being done in the spiritual realm that we can't even see, you know, that's not necessarily being done on this physical plane. Meaning like when you go to sleep at night, there's work that's going on. I mean, there's always work that's going on in the spiritual realm, but I say all that to say like things can be done like in ways that I don't necessarily see, maybe that I'm helping to assist them, you know, right here in this physical body or this physical vessel. But when I, you know, go to sleep at night, you know, it's almost like being able to assist other people spiritually, meaning like, you know, you're doing spiritual work even while you're sleeping, should I say. So with that being said, sometimes we won't always see what's going on behind the scenes, but whatever is meant to manifest, you know, in the spiritual realm will also manifest on earth, whether you kind of see some of those things or not. Okay. But, yeah. So anyway, so with that being said, so after several different guys came to the steps, and for some reason these are all men at that too. So, but anyway, so and I say all that to say, you know, if you guys, you know, you may not even realize that you're helping people in some sort of way. But again, you know, this is just God revealing that, you know, you had to take the road that was less traveled because you were helping to assist people on the way. Whereas if I would have taken the route that my family took, as well as my, oh, thank you, Spirit. Oh, wow. If I would have taken a route that my family have taken, I wouldn't have been able to help assist people on this journey in a sense, because I would have went straight to the top, straight for success, where, you know, most people or most of us would like to be or whatever, without any obstacles in the way. But again, my path was meaning to be like to go through these various different obstacles at the time. And because as I was going through them, I was also helping people on their journey as well too. But anyway, so with that being said, so okay. And then there was one last guy who kind of came through, who kind of showed up in a t-shirt, and he didn't say anything to me when he was standing at the steps, but I got the feeling like the first guy that I said that was standing there looking at me with a smile as admiring me, or, you know, admiring and thanking me in a sense. It's almost like, because that's how everybody kind of showed up at the stairs. But then there was in particular this one particular guy that showed up at the stairs. And need I remind you, sometimes, you know, in the spiritual realm, you don't necessarily need to speak or say anything, because it's like I am able to understand what they're saying telepathically without them even saying anything. So he stood next to me and he basically was telling me that, okay, so I don't know who this message is for, because there was a specific name that stood out. Okay, the name was Derwin. So if any of you guys know somebody by the name of Derwin, because that's the name that I heard, right? So what I heard was, the guy, he didn't speak it out loud, but telepathically he was like, yeah, he said Derwin is downstairs. And when he said that, I could immediately psychically see him standing downstairs, or where he was standing at, like he was standing down there, like I was gonna come down there to where he was. And it's almost like, and then I told him, the guy who was standing next to me, I said, well, why didn't he come up here like you did, you know? And I thought to myself, well, if you came up here, he could have came up here also. So I thought to myself, no, I'm not going back down. I'm going up in a sense. So, but again, I could see him waiting. So I say all that to say, some of you guys may have some loved ones, some family members, or even just somebody who just admire you in some sort of way, or, you know, have some sort of connection with you, whether it be spiritually, and maybe they're not showing it physically. I say all that to say that basically what's happening here is that person, and you notice that each time I said I was going up, the stairs is a representation of different levels, okay? I don't want to make it seem like anybody is better or greater than anybody else, but this is not the case. It's just that sometimes when we evolving and going higher, we are on different levels just because of where we at in our placement. Does that mean anybody else is better than anybody else? No, because we're all God's children, okay? It's just meaning that we're all learning different lessons. Just like I said that, my relatives took this other route over here, which was the easy way because that's what they were meant to take. And as well as I took this route that had so many different obstacles, challenges in my way, and so on and so on, because I was meant to take that route, okay? Because had I not taken that route, then I wouldn't have been able to help assist or, help others to evolve in whatever way and shape or form that may be going on behind the scenes that I can't necessarily see with my physical eye, and presently in front of me, but I'm able to see whatever God allows me to see. So anyway, with that being said, so basically, as I had told the gentleman, he could have came up here just like you have, and I wasn't going to go downstairs. So in other words, I just kind of left him standing downstairs, in other words, because I was thinking he's sending a message through someone else. He could have told me he could have came up here and told me himself. But the funny thing about that was, thank you, Holy Spirit, because I almost forgot. The funny thing about that was the gentlemen who was, each and every one of the gentlemen who was standing next to me in the white t-shirts, that was just letting me know, because white is a representation of, purity, should I say, but remember, they were only had on white t-shirts. They weren't fully clothed in white. So that's just letting me know, like, their mindset, their heart, because God is looking at people's hearts, should I say. God knows every single thing that you're thinking way before you even think it. So if you're thinking a nasty thought, God knows that you were going to think that way before you even thought it. So should I say that? That's just letting me know that these people are just being, mindful, and, their heart is in the right place is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. Their heart is in the right place. Okay. So anyway, they're doing the requirements that they need in order to evolve, okay? But I noticed that the person who was standing downstairs, the person by the name of Derwin, whoever that may be, I don't know who need to hear that message, or if that's a message, specific message for somebody, but I don't know any Derwin. So with that being said, with that being said, I noticed he didn't have on a white t-shirt, so that was just letting me know that he was just kind of still stuck on that lower level, in other words, and that was the reason why he did not come up to the next level, in other words, because he's still learning whatever lessons that he may needs to learn while he's there on that lower level in order to be able to evolve to the next level. So that's why he was kind of asking if I could come down, and it was a matter of me saying, no, I'm not coming down, I'm going up. I have a divine path that I'm following. So, and then as I was standing at the platform, and right before I was about to go up the stairs, after I had, after all the guys had came in and stood next to me, in a sense, I had noticed this girl's hair right before I was about to go upstairs. She had her hair in a different style, and it looked like she had some sort of beads in there, but it was just how she did it differently. So that was just letting me know, thank you, Spirit. That was just letting me know that path that we was on, in other words, like, that's a path of people who are doing things totally different. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. And I just got that revelation because I was like, why am I seeing this in a dream? But anyway, because it didn't fit, but I just got revelation. So thank you, Spirit. Anyway, so her hair was designed totally different and something I had never seen before. It's the way she had beads in her hair. Okay. So that was letting me know that, those people who were on the same path that I was, or taking the same route that I was, that they're doing something totally different and unique from the rest of their family that had taken the straight path. Okay. So I'm sorry, bear with me, y'all. This was a long dream. I just had to write all this down. So anyway, so after I proceeded up the stairs, and just as I got done with complimenting a girl on her hair, lo and behold, what happens? I see my family going in the door. They were up at the top of the platform, and I guess they got tired of waiting because I got the feeling like they was waiting on me, and I guess I was taking too long. So as I looked up, and as I was about to go up the stairs, basically I looked up and I saw them going through the door, and basically they was leaving me, in a sense. Okay. So at that moment, when I had finally made it up the stairs, I walked through the same door that they had walked through earlier. And need I remind you, this is probably like about a span of a few minutes after they had went through the door. I finally made it up the steps. So once I made it up the steps and walked through the door, it was like being in it went from being at a shopping center food court to going through that door became, Okay, wow, I just got more revelation. Thank you, Spirit. Sometimes I don't always know the what's taking place, but sometimes Spirit is giving me revelation along the way. And I'm just meant to, again, come get in front of the camera, push chord, because I was being told, there's a scripture in the Bible that told you that you don't need to worry about what to say, because God will tell you what you need to know, okay? Or what he wants you to say. And this is a moment like that. But anyway, so once I got to the top of the stairs, walked inside the doorway, it changed into like a hallway, a school hallway. Okay, so at this school hallway, it's like the lights were just a little dim, and I walked through that doorway, and I looked, because it was like as if I came walking out of a stairwell, but I looked to the left once I got up and walked through the door, and then I looked to the right, and I didn't see my family in sight anywhere, right? So I decided to go right and start walking down the hallway. And then as I was walking down the hallway, I started kind of glancing at each and every one of the classrooms just to see if I saw them in the classroom. And then I just kept walking, and that was basically where the dream had ended at, okay? So I say all that to say, basically, because that was a representation of being in school and in a classroom. That was just letting me know that as they're going up to the top, or as they have gone to the top, and it was basically like they're going in a direction that, thank you, Spirit. It's like they're going in a direction, it's almost like going in the opposite direction than what I went in. So in other words, they achieved success first, okay? In other words, it's like now it's almost like they're in a classroom to learn the lessons that I had to learn along the way, where I had the obstacles and everything in my way and so on along the way. Now it's almost like they're going into the classroom to learn whatever lessons that they need to learn along the way, where I had learned all of my lessons along the way by dealing with all the different obstacle courses, if that makes sense to you. So anyway, that was pretty much the end of that dream. Oh, let me say this, because there came a point in time where I became worried about the baby that I was watching, because the baby was nowhere around, right? It started off like I had the baby at first, and then all of a sudden, thank you, Spirit, because when I got up to the top of the hallway, is as if I had the feeling like my family was holding on to the baby, although I never saw the baby, even when I was down below at the food court and I was, waiting to go up there where they were. I had this sense of being worried that the baby, because I was like, oh my God, I've been separated from this baby for so long. Like, I'm sure this baby is hungry. The baby needs to be changed. The baby needs to be fed. And I was just worried about getting the baby back to their parents. Sorry, y'all, piece of lint. I was worried about getting this baby back to their parents or whatever. So I was trying to catch up with them as well too, so that I can make sure that the baby was okay, so I can make sure that I get the baby back home safely. But again, I never saw the baby towards the end, but I truly believe that the baby was almost like a representation of, just it's almost like the birth of a project, or the birth of something that you're working on, in a sense, if that makes sense, because sometimes in dreams you can be pregnant, and it can be an actual pregnancy, or it could be a situation of being pregnant with a creative projects as well too. Okay, so anyway, that was the end of that message. Now the second message came in a form of I had noticed that, let's just say, two family members, and God give me these dreams, whether it's pertaining to them or not, sometimes he just give me the dream with certain people, so that way I can understand the dynamics of what's taking place. So, excuse me. So with that being said, I'm sorry, before I get into this dream. So just keep in mind as well too, like I said, that, some of us are meant to take a non-traditional route in order to achieve success. We weren't meant to take the same route as everyone else. It is in our divine purpose, okay? We were not meant to do things the same exact way. Why this is happening, I don't know, but I'm just gonna go with the flow, and whatever you're destined to do, you're destined to do it. So sometimes in a process, you can't rush the process, because had I taken the stairs that my family have taken, should I say, my path would have been much different. I may not have been able to, again, help other people in the process, okay? So I just wanted to say that real quick before I moved on. So the second dream came in a form as if someone who has a house, right? It came as if it was like my sister and my brother-in-law, whatever. But again, I'm just trying to understand the dynamics of, that's how God wants me to understand the story, so that way I can relate a message with you. So if you know somebody, or if you are somebody who purchased a home with your spouse or partner, whoever, and the way I saw this, as if some people were about to sell their homes, in a sense. It's like they was about to sell their home for whatever particular reason. I don't know why they were about to sell their home, but like they was about to sell their home. That's all I saw. But I remember talking to the daughter of the individual person, and I remember, you know, telling her, I was like, yeah, I remember talking to her, and hold on, y'all. Yeah, so they was deciding to move out of the home. And then I remember telling her daughter that, you know, sometimes things happen for a purpose or for a reason. And only God knows the, you know, the deeper reasoning of why this is happening. But on the other hand, when I was looking out the window, I had noticed something. What I had noticed was it seemed like there was like a hill of I don't know if I want to say a hill of like grass, but it was just really awkward. And I looked out the window. It's almost like psychically I could see why God was moving them out of that home, even though God was moving them out of that home. It's like God was allowing me to see why he was moving them out of that home. It's almost like because moving them out of that home was something that was gonna, there was something that was going to basically transpire, that if they stayed in a home, they would have been affected by it. So moving out of the home, it's going to kind of like keep them safe, in a sense, if that makes sense. Like an example, what's coming to mind, like let's just say, like hypothetically, like, and this is just an example what just came to mind, thank you, Spirit. Like if they stayed in that home, let's just say a tornado comes 6 or 3 months down the road, right? And a tornado comes and really impacts that area that I told you that psychically I could see why they moved out of the home. Like it really impacted that area to the point that it damaged the house, because I remember telling, you know, her daughter why I can see why that they was having to move out of the house. Because obviously, just remember that sometimes when God isolates you or takes you away from a certain thing or situation, it's for your protection. So keep that in mind as well too. So like I said, it was a situation, as an example, like if a tornado came and then it disrupted some stuff, that stuff was going to end up damaging the house. So everything happens for a reason. And obviously they weren't meant to be there in a process of when the damages happen. So this was a part of, like an example, like this could be possibly part of the reason why they were being told to move or move out. And then this last one came in the form of, some of you guys may find yourself, you know, being able to see other people's auras. And what do I mean by auras? So we all have an aura that's around us, right? And sometimes auras are different colors. You know, it just depends on your mood, depends on your, you know, thank you, Spirit. So you know what a mood ring is, right? You know how it changes colors accordingly to your moods that you're in. So every one of us have, like I said, an aura field that's around us, like, you know, that's like an outline of ourselves. Thank you, Spirit. And you hear that, right? I had no idea that was about to go off. So each and every one of us have an outline that is around us. Just imagine a line, an outline, you know, like how you see in a crime scene that they do the chalk on the floor. Just imagine that being your aura, but not in a crime scene, okay? But anyway, so just imagine as you're walking, that outline is walking with you, okay? So we each and every one of us have an aura. It can be the color of red. It could be the color of orange. It could be the color of yellow. It could be the color of green. It could be the color of blue. It could be the color of like a teal kind of color. It could be the color of purple. And it just depends on, you know, where you're at wise of what color it is. So some of you guys may start to notice people's auras, okay? And you may start to notice it with your physical eye. So whether this is gonna be in person, I don't know, because I remember in a dream I was telling my daughter, I said, oh, I see your aura, right? I told her I could see her aura. And I give an example, like probably some months ago, my son came talking to me in my room, and it was dark in the room, right? And as he was sitting there talking, I can see his aura as he was talking. And I can say, and I told him, I said, I see like this blue aura that's around you as he was talking. And I was like, oh shit. You know, I always get excited, and I always get, you know, happy when God reveals stuff to me, you know, like different spiritual gifts. I don't know about you guys, but I get excited. You know, when I first started this journey, I think that was the best part of the journey, was tapping into the spiritual gifts for me, you know, whereas most people may shy away from it, be like, what the hell, is something wrong with me? No, absolutely not. As I've said before, I truly believe that there are people out here who are psychic, and they don't understand that they're psychic. And I think a lot of people, like, how can I say it? Like when they say that they see certain things, you know, think about the movie Sixth Sense, which is so funny because I watched that movie for the first time 2 weeks ago with my son, and I've never seen that movie. I always saw the previews for it, but I've never sat there and really saw the movie. But I say all that to say, when I saw the movie, and prior to seeing the movie, it was almost like I would always sit up there and think to myself, people who sit there and have conversations with themselves, people look at them as being, you know, a little off. I don't want to say the C word, you know, the CRA word. I don't want to say that, because people look at them and start to judge them and start to think that there's something wrong with them. But what they don't realize is, you know, people, they could be on a different timeline, and then two, they are talking to someone in the spiritual world, okay? And I don't mean the spiritual realm, I mean the spiritual world. Meaning, in other words, there's people like right now, there's a whole lot of people behind me right now that you cannot see physically with your eye, and those are my spirit guides. So I say all that to say, when you hear me saying thank you, Spirit, for the messages, those are the messages that I'm being guided by. Those spirit guides are showing up to give me messages at that time. So I say all that to say that we all have people, you know, that are within, you know, and thank you, Spirit. And then some of us may have like, and let me say this too, you know, you have, some people may experience the situation of having demonic, you know, negative energies with them as well too. So you have to be mindful of that too. But I say all that to say that, so there's a difference between the two. Remember, there's light and dark in every single thing. But with that being said, it's almost like, you know, these people can sometimes, so, okay, thank you, Spirit. So if you hear somebody saying something evil and dark and negative, yes, they're obviously dealing with a demonic force. Thank you, Spirit. And then if you see, like, anytime you hear me sitting up here saying thank you, Spirit, because anytime right before I come on this camera, I'm always calling on, you know, praying to my higher guides. This is stuff you don't see that I do. I pray to my higher guides, and I pray to God, soul, spirit, that he cleanse my area, and, you know, allow those high vibrations beings to basically be in my presence, in other words. So in other words, I go through a little ritual before I come on camera, because I'm only calling in, you know, pure white light and pure unconditional love only, the blood of Jesus, pretty much. So anyway, but with that being said, so you just have to be mindful of that. So that's why it's important to listen, because when people say certain things, you can tell who is leading them and guiding them, whether it be a demonic or evil or negative forces, or whether it be angelic, or just a, you know, a being of pure white light, pure unconditional love on it, or just a being who may have, you know, like been here before, or who have crossed over and they're here to give spirit messages, you know, through loved ones or whatever the case may be. You know, as people refer to as, you know, I would think like the kid in Sixth Sense was a psychic medium. You know, he was a kid, but he could see dead people. So they were coming to him because they wanted his help, in other words. But anyway, but yeah, so anyway, but I'm going to end that there. And let me go ahead and pull these cards real quick. So those are the messages that I'm having. I'm actually doing good. This is only 38 minutes in. I felt like I told a long story. All right, Spirit. What message? That is a pure white light, just love only, that you have for the collective. What do you want them to know in regards to these prophetic messages? With the auras, the family members, and the people who are having to sell their homes. What messages do you have for these individuals? That is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only. I know y'all hadn't seen the cards in a while, but I was being divinely guided to pull them out today. Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have that is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only? Oh, that's so funny. I said something about auras, right? It's like aura light. Give me a minute. Pull some cards. What messages do you have for the collective that is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only? So yeah, I do. I get really excited when Spirit shows up. I do. Like, my spirituality means everything to me. I'm a life path number 7, and 7 represents spirituality. What message? Oh, that one went flying. Ah. Slow but steady. Oh, Spirit showed up. Okay, I'm gonna end it there. Hold on, y'all. We got 2 cards here. Straight into the point. I hope you guys are sticking around to the end because it's an important message that some of you guys or some of us need to hear. Okay, so it says the Aura Light 23 has its seductive effect on the mind, okay? Still, it is that profound healing and conscious connection with with your soul. The universe mind and the higher dimensions occur. Self-understanding, you are multi-layered soul on a course of, I just said that. It was like so many different course and obstacles, right? On a course of accelerated spiritual growth. You came to Earth to share your knowledge. You have an ability to move between different dimensions, to anchor new vibrations into the earth plane. The slowness and seeming impossible of this task has brought disillusionment and discontentment. But do not despair. Raise your own consciousness and others will follow. Oh my God, like, you see, I said that I had to take the path less traveled, and right before I went up the stairs, oh my God, thank you, Lord. I'm sorry, y'all. I really feel like I want to cry right now because God is good. Like, he shows up every single time. Like, I don't want to get my message across. I want to get God's message across. But everything I just said, like, oh my God, like the multi-layers, you know, okay, anyway, let me not get sidetracked. But anyway, so God is good. But let me just say, okay, let me finish. Let me not get sidetracked. The task brought disillusionment and discontent, but do not despair. Raise your own consciousness and others will follow. You know, just like I stood at the stairs and other people followed me, and you saw me shuffling these cards on camera, y'all. You know, God don't lie, right? You know. Anyway, divinations, recognizing that you are an integral part of humanity. Integral, am I saying it right? Integral part of humanity. Center yourself in inner peace and connect to your higher mind before making decisions. Beneficial contracts come through friends, family. It is not so much what you know as whom that counts now. It is not so much what you know as whom that counts now. And that includes higher beings. Okay. Okay, and then we have healing inside. Align to as above, so below. So when you basically align to God, soul, spirit's will, you know, whatever's manifested in heaven is manifested on earth. So that's when you hear as above, so below. So as above, so below. As without, so within. So in other words, because it says so without, so whatever is being projected in your outer world, so whatever you see in your immediate environment, That's how you feel about yourself on the inside. So if you see people around you, and let's just say people are either stealing, or if you see people are condescending, or if you see people talking bad or talking down to people or dismissing people like they're not human beings, or they just disrespecting people, well, guess what? That's also what you're seeing in your outer world. That's how you feeling about yourself on the inside. So when you hear so within, so without, that's what's how you feel about yourself on the inside is what's being projected to you in your outer world. Okay. As without, so within, so leads to a sense of rightness and emerges well-being. So the soul, star, and stellar getaway, cleansing and aligning all, connecting to the ego. So this is about connection of the ego, soul, and higher consciousness. This is about going higher and not so much as being in the ego. The soul connector. Okay, let me finish, y'all. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, and then a second card we have here is slow and steady. And remember, I said that it seemed like there were so many obstacles in the way, right? And but just know that we are going to reach where it is that we're supposed to be. It's just that, yes, we've had the obstacles. We have the what seems like hurdles and roadblocks in our way. But you're going to reach your destiny as you saw me reach the top of the stairs, okay? But it's just that you were meant to take a different route. And sometimes people don't understand that. And sometimes you know, like I said, my family was at the top of the stairs. And because I was taking too long, what did they do? They left. Okay. So sometimes people are not going to understand why you have to do what you have to do. But you're doing what you have to do because that's what God intended you to do. And then you have those people who were down at the lower level who wanted you to come down to where they were. And it's like, you was like, no, I come too far and I had too many obstacles in my way. I'm not coming back down that way, you know, for you or anyone else. And I say that in all love and light. You know, again, it's like a situation of, yes, I love the person who is downstairs and I can sense that they had feelings for me, but it's almost like, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? I love me more. So I'm going to stay right here. And if they also, you know, felt the same way I felt, well, then they will evolve. And not so much me telling them that, but it's just that if they choose to join me where I was at, they will come up. That's it. It's not about controlling anybody. It's just a matter of, you know, hey, if there's something that you want, you go after it and you try to obtain what it is that you want rather than always trying to have something to come to you. But it's a matter of you putting in the work and you working hard to get where it is that you need to go. Just like when you saw me coming up the steps and I made the attempt to go up the steps, even though there was no handrail, the last 2 steps, because I made steps, God had allowed other people to catapult, spitting all over the place, excuse me. God had allowed 2 of these men to catapult me over their shoulders and put me on safe ground. So that was like a representation of like God, source, spirit, your higher guides, you know, your angels and all of them. Like they were there to help assist you on your journey. But it's just a matter of you making those steps. You know, when you get out of your comfort zone and you're not worried about, you know, it's almost like having a one-track mind in a sense of where you want to go. Like have that target. You know, the message I did before when it was talking about Sagittarius having targets or whatever. And I don't mean a target for the negative, but a target for the positive or where you want to go. When you in God's alignment, he's going to make sure there are people along the way that's going to help assist you and protect you along the way. Okay? I'm just saying. But it's just a matter of just trusting. We got to get out of our comfort zones. I told you coming into 2022, God said the way you moved in 2021, you can't move like that in 2022. So anyway, slow but steady. And yes, I was very slow to get up to the top of the stairs, even though my family had left me, but I made it. That's the point. And that's the message that you guys need to hear, that you will make it. So don't rush the situation. And I know that there have been people that seem like they have been kind of trying to rush us on this journey, should I say. But it's not about rushing. It's not about rushing. It's not about getting there when somebody else wants you to get there. It's a matter of getting there when God tells you you were meant to get there. Because what I'm hearing Spirit say is you have to enjoy what's on your path along the way. God wants you to enjoy just when you have an obstacle. God wants you to see the benefits of having an obstacle. When you have a setback, God wants you to see why he wanted you to have a setback. He wants you to enjoy every single moment, whether it's an obstacle, whether it's a setback, whatever the case may be. He just wants you to enjoy the journey, because without the obstacles, the setbacks, and so on, it's almost like you wouldn't even be able to see the reason and the purpose behind the obstacles if you had not had them, okay? Whereas when I got up to the top of the stairs, I realized that my family was now in those lessons that I had already learned, in a sense. Do not rush the situation. More often than not, divine timing and timings are not the same, okay? So let me read that again. Do not rush the situation. More often than not, divine timing and our timings are not the same, okay? So your timing, my time, is not God's timings, okay? God knows when, what time, how, where, location. He knows all of that when you're going to arrive, okay? So we have to stop trying to control the situation and release the ego and let go and let God. When you try to speed up a life experience, a relationship, or even a project, you cultivate necessary experiences or lessons along the way that will contribute to your perfect outcome. Know that whenever you are in this situation, it's the perfect place for you to be. If that place is causing you anxiety, perfect. Now you can look within and ask yourself, why? What are your fears surrounding this perceived delay in getting to where you want to go? What is the worst that can happen? What is the best that can happen? What if we remove the words best and worst and just let things unfold at their own pace without attaching judgment? Boom. So there is no worse. There is no better. It is what it is. We just were meant to take different routes. That's all, So anyway, but I hope that message was helpful. I am proud of myself because I know I said a whole lot, but before I started doing the cards, I was only at 36 minutes. So that's a plus for me. And I'm trying to slow it down a little bit instead of being go, 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 go. But anyway, so with that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I wish you all much love, much light, peace, and blessings. Until the next prophetic message, I say much love. Bye.